Okay, seam sample number 6 is called top stitch. So you are going to stitch a 1/2 inch seam along 2 sides. One thing I want to talk to you guys about now is the fact that our throat plate on our machine will tell us measurements. So you can use this as a quick guide to be able to tell and not have to mark your fabric. So what I would like you guys to try now is finding a 1/2 inch on your seam gauge, right? So that center point, and then putting your seam gauge along the center and making sure it's matching. So a 1/2 inch is that second line. So when I sew, hold on, let me put the camera down for a second. When I am sewing, I'm going to start with the fabric lined up with that second edge. I'm going to go ahead and stitch forward a few stitches. Remember to back stitch. And then I'm going to stop because I got to pivot and turn. I'm going to make sure my needle is down, and then I'm going to rotate my fabric. Okay, I'm actually going to take one stitch back. And then when I pivot, I'm pretty darn close, and I'm going to adjust it so I am still at a 1/2 inch. Once I'm there, I'm going to back stitch, and then I'm going to go ahead and take that out and then clip my threads. The second part on step 2, it says to miter your corner. Mitering your corner is super easy. All that means is you are going to take it like this. Okay, don't go through the stitch line, but you are simply going to then cut. Okay, and that is step 1 for 2. I'm going to go ahead and go iron this and then show you step 3 and 4. Okay, so I went ahead and turned it and then pressed it so it looks like this. Now we are going to use a top stitch along the seam edge using the presser foot as a guide. So what we are talking about here is this inside edge of the presser foot. I'm going to align the edge of my fabric, and we are just sewing like the L that we already sewed, but on the top side. What I want you guys to think about with the top stitch is that it looks like, you know, the decorative finish on jeans? That is what it looks like. So as we approach the bottom, we're going to kind of stop, make sure your needle is down, pivot, turn. I'm going to do one more stitch actually. Pivot, turn. Alrighty, so your finished product should look like this.